video tutorial is an introduction into the topic for junior school on tables, graphs and equations. This is the first of a set of 6 videos to take us right through the topics, or the pieces to the topic anyway. Okay, so first thing we have to think about is conventions of algebra and what a variable might be. Well, a variable just means something that varies all the time. So a variable is a letter in algebra. So we might just have an A, any letter of the alphabet. So often we like to use X and Y, they're both variables. But another variable could be B, and we could have H. They're all variables. Now B and H, you might recognize them from knowing that the area of a rectangle is equal to base times height. Base times height. Now, the other convention that we have in algebra is if we always go and write a multiplication symbol like this, it kind of could get confused with the X. So we have a convention that we say when we want to multiply something, we just get rid of the multiplication symbol and we just bang those letters up beside each other. When those letters are up beside each other, touching each other, then that means that they're multiplied. So some more examples. 4 times x, we would just write as 4x, means 4 times x. 3n actually means 3 times n. 20 times a is equal to 20a. Okay, so you get the idea. When we have multiplication in algebra, we don't use a multiplication symbol. We just put the two things up close together. Obviously, if we've got 6 times 7, then we're going to multiply 6 times 7. Okay, so if we've got a variable, something that changes, this area formula is quite a good indication of what a variable means. It varies, so the base of the rectangle can vary. It could be a small rectangle or a big rectangle. Okay, so the next thing we need to know about before starting our tables, graphs and equations is something that we put the graph on, a coordinate plane. Now, the only thing that two things we need to be concerned about is we need to know which is the x-axis and which is the y. Now, some people just know it. Some people need some little reminders. Some people say y to the sky. It rhymes, y to the sky. And another one here is x is across, or x is literally across. Okay, so there are two things that you could use to help you remember which is the x and which is the y. And there are many other ways that people use to remember these things. The other thing is on the x-axis, if we're going towards the right, the numbers are positive. There's 0, 0 in the middle. If we're going to the left, those numbers are all negative. To the right, they're positive. Now look at the y-axis. Going up is positive and going down is negative. Okay, two things to know about a coordinate plane. X is across, y to the sky, and up and right are positives, left and down are negatives. Gradients. A gradient is the steepness of a line. Now a line can be very steep uphill like that, not so steep, still uphill. These are both positive gradients. They're going uphill. Negative gradients go downhill. They can go very steep, not so steep, not very steep at all. They're all negative gradients. Now, to work out what a gradient is, or to draw a gradient, we use the little idea here. It's rise over run, rise over run. So if we had 3 over 2 for our gradient, we would go rise 3, 3, and run 2. So here's our gradient there in the blue. The blue is the gradient. The pink is just my working. All right, so gradient, rise over run. That's a positive gradient. Okay, so let's look at intercept. What does the word intercept mean? It means it cuts through something. If we had 2 netball players here throwing a ball, the opposition comes through, running through, and they try to intercept the pass. So they cut through the line of the throw. And that's what intercept does, it cuts through something. So in a x and y axes, a coordinate plane, we're looking at the y-intercept. Here's the y-axis, and we're looking at where the line cuts along this axis. So does it cut there? Does it cut there? Etc. Okay, it can cut through anywhere. So y-intercepts, gradients, rise over run, the graph, x-axis, y-axis. And the important thing is when we have a number and a letter together, or two letters together, that means that they are multiplied. Okay, so if you're comfortable with all those concepts, go and have a look at the 2nd through to the 6th videos in this series. Watch them in order because they progressively get more difficult and build on each other.